But the situation that we see now, is this as toppy as it gets in terms of these prices, or do you foresee that we are going to see even further upside when it comes to the prices and therefore the revenues you're going to be able to bring in?
Will, thank you. Yes, look, I think the market's very, very tight, and obviously we've got Northern Hemisphere winter still before us. So I do see further tightness to emerge over the coming months. So we see what's already a market typified by anxiety from our customers' perspectives on the continuity of supply. I think that's just going to be compounded in the coming months.
And it's been a tricky situation as well over the course of the last couple of years because, you know, all these banks that have been pulling their financing puts you in a situation where you have to self-finance a lot of the time. So does this put you at least in good stead now, the fact that we do see these elevated price levels in terms of, say, the next 5 to 10 years of operations for Whitehaven?
Well, I think the balance sheet's in very good shape, as you point out, and that's very true. Our cohort of banks in our syndicate has been pretty solid, so I'm fortunate to be able to say that. But as you say, the next few years will be more independent, if you like, from a financing perspective, which is a positive thing.
But when you think about it, and I suppose I want to go a little bit big picture here, the situation obviously in today's circumstances is one thing because you have this incredible demand for coal. You have all of the issues that China created last year, but realistically, because of this energy crisis and because of potentially the longer term impacts as we deal with a shortness of LNG, not just now, but perhaps into 2026 and all the Russia turmoil, do you sit back at all and wonder, okay, for the next, say, 5 to 10 years, there's going to be this market for thermal coal, but what comes next? Have you been looking elsewhere in terms of other commodities you could be mining out of the ground, or are you firmly ensconced within, this is a coal company and this has to be our core focus?
Well, I think there's a number of different points to be made there and amongst all that. Obviously, the thermal market isn't the same and it's not uniform in terms of its behaviour across this recent period. The market has bifurcated, so the high value, high thermal quality thermal coal has distanced itself quite considerably from the type of thermal coal that traditionally has been sold into China, say, for instance. So you're seeing at least a $200 spread, US dollar spread, there. And that is a function of the fact that, Russian coal, due to sanctions, is going to be less obvious in the market than what it's been in the past. But I think the other point to make here is just that the pathway to a low emissions future, I think, which we're all endorse, I think what the world is coming to grips with is the fact that the practical reality of delivering on that pathway may actually be different from what we've espoused it to be. And I just think the physicality of this delivering on this pathway, this ambitious pathway that we're all striving for, will end up being, I think, a difficult journey and longer than what we may be predicting.
Right.